Hi, guys. Welcome back to Finding Your Indie. I'm Bonnie Paulson,
And I'm Mandy Stevens.
and we are here today with another Monday marketing tips and tricks. And I'm getting really good at saying that. So don't quit my day job, right? Okay, so today we're talking about, do you know who your reader is? Oh my gosh. Mandy and I get a lot of these. This is actually, I think, one of the most important questions we could possibly get.
Yeah.
Uh, it's kind of rude the way I'm going to answer it, and I don't want it to come across as rude, but it's going to feel rude. Okay.
Okay. Well, this is what we like about you is because you're real. So it's not
Okay.
rude, it's real.
Okay, thanks. All right. So I kind of feel like people who say, I'm just going to write something I like, I don't care what other people want, then I think they're not being honest with themselves if they want to make money. So if you want to make money, you have to set aside your own feelings and care about your reader. And I think a lot of people confuse the two. They're like, oh, I don't care about the reader. I just want to write what I want to write and what I want to read. And I think but then they're like, but then I can't figure out why I'm not making money, right? Like, so if you don't know who your reader is, and by reader, I don't just mean like, hey, have you met me? I read your books. I mean the person that you're marketing to. This is what we do. We talk about how do we sell books, right? How do we sell your stories? And I know Mandy gets this question. I mean, I know that we both deal with this a
Yeah.
lot because we get
All the
people who
time.
all the time. We get people who come to us and we're going to run their ads, or they want advice on how to run their ads or how to find their audience. And you can't create an ad. You can't target an ad. You can't like set an ad anywhere. You can't do anything with an ad or any type of marketing if you do not know who you're sending your message to. And I think that's pretty fair to say you better know what your genre is.
You would be surprised how often I'll talk to somebody, especially like cons or whatever, and they're like, this book is genre bending and it's this and it's this and it's this. And I'm like, okay, well, who are you trying to reach? And they're like, like dear, And some of my books have been like that too when I first started writing,
Mm-hmm. And
because I
that's
was
okay.
writing for me,
Yeah, right.
But as I'm like, oh, maybe I want to make some money at this, you kind of have to fine tune and you have to figure out who in the world you're marketing to. That's like really important.
It is. It is like if you're telling me that you write, I don't know, Christian sci-fi fantasy. Let's just randomly pick something out. I don't even know where that came from. Christian sci-fi fantasy. If you tell me that you write Christian sci-fi fantasy and I say, okay, great, let's go and target some Christian groups. And you say, no, 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 I don't want to target them. They're not my reader. Do you understand who your reader is? Like, do you understand who your reader is? And I've had this happen. I've had people say this, and not obviously not necessarily that specific genre because I just made that one up, but it's a lot of things like that. Like, oh, I write sweet romance, but I don't want to target it as sweet. It's not, or Nicholas Sparks. He says he doesn't write romance. Whatever. He can say whatever he wants. He makes a crap ton of money. That's fine. You do you, but it's romance. So, like, do you understand what your genre entails? Do you understand that romance has to have a happy ever after? Has to have a happy ever after. I don't care if it's reverse harem. I don't care if it's age gap. I don't care if it's sci-fi or monsters or Hallmark. It doesn't matter. It has to have a happy ever after or a happy for now. I think that's another way to say it. So that's one requirement. Like, and do you understand that those people who read romance, if you don't give them that, they will cut you? Like, do you get that? Because
And there are literally so many books. There's like millions released daily.
daily.
You're
And
swimming upstream, buddy.
yes, like, yeah, give yourself a life preserver, give yourself some tools to make it so this is doable. Get some flippers on your feet, get some goggles. This is by knowing your part. I get it because I was like you. When I started out, I was like, I wrote this, it's called Psycho Inside Me. And it was like this, I don't even have it available for publication anymore. Cause I was like, yeah, this fits nothing, pull it
I
down.
read it.
Yeah, okay. Thanks.
Read
Thanks.
it.
But it was a vigilante YA book. You can't even call it that. Like, that's not a genre. There's things I could market it better probably now because I understand marketing better now, but
Mhm.
it's not like it hit tropes. So, I mean, it didn't even have a happy ever after. So I couldn't even call it a romance. Like, it didn't hit things. So I was like, oh, pull that down. It was a book I wrote for me. It was for me. So I feel like it's okay to have those books that you learn from, but if you want to make money, and that's okay to want to make money, I think it's okay to move forward. So what are some questions that we should ask ourselves about our readers? What do you think are some that we should ask?
Well, okay, so I run social media for many,
Yes,
many. I have
I'm
to
one of
know
them.
who the reader is. I have to
Mhm.
know who is reading Bonnie's books, what are things that they like, what do they like to, other books they like to read, things that they like to watch,
Right.
things they like to do on the weekend, things like that.
Right. And you do really, you do mine. I never even on my page. I don't even know the last time I was on it. That's really sad, but thank you for that. Great job. But it's funny because, I remember we had somebody and I was trying to run social media. This was a long time ago. And I was trying to run someone's social media. And I was like, I hate this because they said they wrote steamy. And then they said, no, 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 no. You can't put steamy stuff on my page. It's a Christian page. It's a clean group. And I was like, what? But you write erotica. And she was like, oh yeah, I don't advertise my books in my readers group. And I was like, do you have a pen name? Like, what am I missing here? And it
Yeah.
was just oh no, no, it started out where it was my church friends and it's kind of grew from there, even though I call it my reader group and they don't read my books. And it was like, what is happening? I don't know what I'm doing then. So
But I mean, we all learn as we go.
yeah, we do. We
We
totally do.
evolve. I've worked with several people who I have author friends where they've written, several series, like 3 or 4 series. And then if something kind of clicks and they're like, oh, and then the next one is to market and then they're kicking
Yes.
butt.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I wish I had the stay with fortitude to do that. I like to jump too many 14 pen names. Obviously, I'm all over the place. So I think it's just a matter of like, if you are writing to market or you're not writing to market, are you understanding where your book fits? And then if you do find out where your book fits, are you going to where your reader is? There's a lot of YA readers and sexy readers who are on TikTok. Like that's a huge place where the book talk is. That's where paranormal romance is right now. So are you where your readers are? Facebook is still a great place to be. Discord is where a lot of that lit RPG and stuff seems to be turning up. A lot of the YA seems to be turning up there. Like, legitimately, are you where your readers are? And some people are doing subscriptions. Like there's just so many options out there. It's just you need to find out who your reader is and what is their expectation. So for me, I write sweet romance, and I actually have I've talked about this in reader groups and author groups and stuff, not reader groups, but author groups and stuff. And one of the things that I talk about is naming your reader. Like come up with an avatar of who you write, right? So my reader's name is Mary. I actually named her after my grandmother. And so her name is Mary and she's in her late 60s. And this is because I've done a bunch of research on my demographic for my series. And she's in her late 60s. She has a few grandchildren, which she loves them. She loves them with food, just like my grandmother did. She likes sweet Western romances. She doesn't like the spicy stuff because it gives her husband ideas, and she's too old for that. Actually, words from my grandmother. So, like, all the things like I can actually tell you, I even in my mind when I'm writing newsletters, I actually write it to Mary, to this woman named Mary. It's what is she doing? Would she like a recipe from me? Maybe she would. But how is your day? What have you been doing in your area? I hope you're staying safe and warm and whatever, because that's what Mary would like to hear.
Well,
Now,
I like your newsletters, and I'm in my 40s.
Well, maybe you are, maybe you're not. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But that's who I mean, I'm not saying they're
Yeah.
all going to be 69 with but that's who I'm targeting, is somebody who likes to live a little like on the sweeter side, on the Hallmark side, which you do. And we talk tea. And so it's perfect when you're doing engagement posts and stuff in my group, because you're exactly who my readers are. So it's perfect. So, but for instance, your urban fantasy, and I love this because you split this with Mia and Ellie. So you have the two and you're very distinct. So what would you do differently if you were going to do, say, a giveaway? What would you do differently between Mia and Ellie?
Okay, so with Ellie, which are my sweets, I would have a cozy little candle and then maybe some socks, maybe some
Oh,
tea, something you're going to cozy in with a blanket and read.
yeah.
A lot of my books are Christmas oriented.
Yeah.
With Ellie, I actually have, let me see, like a gargoyle. I mean, with Mia, like a gargoyle, because I write
Yeah.
gargoyles. I write dragons, things like that.
Maybe some
Coffee.
dark chocolate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe some aphrodisiac stuff. No, I'm just kidding. Yours are more adventure
Mine
based.
aren't sexy, but
No,
yeah.
yeah, like I love the gargoyle. That was so cute. I don't know where you found that, but that was super cute. You could
My
do like,
husband surprised me with it. So
oh,
that's not
that's
going in a giveaway, but
yeah, no, it was something along those lines. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, that'd be great. So there's lots of things, but you stick to your brands and what you would like. And I know a lot of people say, "Oh, YA is I have to hit that teen," but teens don't have money. I mean, they might, but
I read the heck out of YA.
I do too.
I love upper YA,
Mm-hmm.
urban fantasy or paranormal romance that's not too sexy.
Yep, I'm right up there with you. And lately, I feel like I can't find anything that's really clean. Like not clean, but I like the angsty
Mhm.
without the. I don't need the sex in it, but I'll read it. I'll just skim over it. But I have been finding a couple authors now who actually very low in the cussing area, and that's a lot higher in like the angst. But again, it's like almost like a closed door scene, which is great.
Yeah, mine's not low in cussing, but I have a client that you might like
Oh,
hers.
sweet.
That's
Okay,
yeah.
I'll have to ask you who that is later. Do do do. All right, so we're wanting you to really get because marketing isn't just throwing crap at the wall. It's not just saying, "Hey, look at my book," and getting everybody to the book. That's not the point. The point is to get the right people to the right book. So if you ask somebody like I go to church. So I go to church and I had someone come up to me and they're like, "Oh, I heard that you're an author." And I was like, because it makes me uncomfortable. I don't like talking about it at church. And I don't write anything that, whatever, but I don't care. I don't like to talk about work at church. So, but they're like, "I heard you're an author." And I was like, "Oh, so yeah, thanks." And they're like, "Well, I want to read one of your books." And I was like, "Why? Why would you want that?"
Because people are trying to connect with you
I
and they're
know they are.
excited
No,
and
I know. And I was like, and then I said, "Well, what do you like to read?" Most likely I've got a pen name that writes it, right? So they're like, "Oh, I like to read romance." I was like, "Oh, I've got romances. Like, let's talk about, this is talk about this." But then I had another one who was like, she said, "Bonnie, I looked up your another friend, and this was funny because she was like, I looked up your books and I got what this Click ID Wed, whatever, one of my rom-coms." And I was like, "Oh, great." I said, "What'd you think of it?" She goes, "I hated it." And I was like, "Oh, okay." She's like, "It's not really what I like to read. I like to read da da da." And I was like, "Then why did you read it?" Like, why would you have read that if you don't like it? Do you like Hallmark movies? And she said, "Well, no, not at all." And I said, "Totally not for you. Like, this could, why did you go and read the book? Don't leave a review." So I told her, I said, "Don't leave a review. Whatever you do, don't leave a review." Like, but if she'd asked me, I would have said, "No, no, 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 no. Like, what do you like to read? Oh, this isn't for
yeah.
you." So if you don't know what your comp authors are, or your compare, and comp means comparison, if you don't know what your comparison authors are, or you don't know what your comparison other books are in other series and not written by you, then maybe that's a great place for you to start. Who are you comp? Like Wednesday Addams. Let's talk about Wednesday, the show. I can tell you very easily it's Nancy Drew and the Addams family mixed together. Easy. Bam. Do you like Nancy Drew? Do you like the Addams family? Then this one's for you, right? Like, great. If you can do something like that with yours, where you're like, "Oh, you like this and you like this, or you like these two, or you like this and this," great. This is what it is, because it's the feel, right? You're looking for that experience. You're looking for the feel that you're delivering. So that's how you figure out who your reader is. And if you're like, I still don't know, go look at your reviews. What do your reviews say? Because that's one, it's really hard because we always say don't read your reviews. But if you read your reviews and you're like, "Oh, this one really," and only read the good ones, like only read the good ones for this specific exercise, because they might say, "Oh, yeah, this is a cross between, I don't know, Nicholas Sparks and Danielle Steele." This is, well, there you go. Now you know who they are. So I feel
Also
like,
check out your also bots.
yes, check out your also bots, unless you've been targeting wrong. Then don't do it. But
Yeah.
if you kind of have an idea, then go and check out who your also bots authors are, like Mandy said, and check out what their series are and what's similar and what their reviewers are saying, because I think that's really important to understand who your reader is so you can continue to market to them. So like I said, I literally target Mary for Bonnie's books. Bonnie targets Mary. We don't need to talk about the psycho who I target with apocalyptic thrillers, because that's a completely different. Even their political views are a little skewed. So it's fine. I'm probably going to get dinged by YouTube. You mentioned political.
Right. That's funny.
Yeah. Is there anything we want to add to that? I'm trying to think if we would add anything to that.
No, I think we covered it.
Yeah. So ultimately, you can't market what you don't, if to people who you don't know who they are. So even, this is a good point really quick before we end it. Even if you're doing unrestricted targeting, which as you know, we don't agree with, but if you're doing it and you don't know what your message is that you're sending, then unrestricted targeting is, again, it's going to be a crapshoot because they're just throwing people at your page, which lowers your conversion, which lowers the effectiveness of your sales on Amazon. So the whole goal is to get conversions and to get sales and downloads, no matter what platform you're on. If you're direct, if you're on wide, if you're on Amazon, wherever you're at, the goal is to get people to download and to buy your books. So if you're not sure what you're selling, then you're going to have a hard time marketing that sucker.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tighten it up.
Yes. Tighten it up.
And even if you do have, they're like, it's genre bending, then kind of just choose one.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Good point.
You told me that a long time ago, like years and years ago, we were having a discussion. You're like, you need to choose one.
Oh, yeah. Probably. Yeah. Choose one, because if you can market it, because I love reading cozy mysteries, but if you're like, hey, cozy mysteries, and it's not the norm, like this is a genre bender. Yeah. I'll dig it up. If you can tell me for sure that it's cozy mysteries and a twist, I'm on it. Let's check it out. I'll at least be, my curiosity is definitely picked. I loved Cobra Kai because it was like, I love that show, because they literally did the same thing. It's from the Karate Kid franchise, but they twisted it, which is great. I mean, I was like, what? I'm all over that. I love Karate Kid, but it's not the same. Yes. Miguel.
I like it even better than Karate Kid.
Yes, I do too, because it bends it and it makes it more diverse and more like there's so many twists and different sides.
There's more dynamic to the story.
Yes, good word, dynamic. Yes, it's more dynamic, which I love it. So if you're doing something like that, point it out, because your readers want to know what makes you special. And it's okay to be unique in this industry. You just want to also point out where you fit. So if you're like, for instance, my daughter is huge into clothes, so I'm like, hey, I'm looking for this kind of an outfit. I need a formal outfit, but I'm going to need it to be below my knees because that's how I dress. And I'd really like it if it had sleeves and slightly, on the more modest side. And she's like, oh, okay. What kind of material? So she knows how to narrow it down. What are we looking for? So if you can come to your reader and be like, hey, this is what I have, and you've narrowed it down, not too much, but enough, then it's just like giving them an option without giving them too many options. So yeah, leading out with that pitch. If you aren't sure about a pitch, check out our book signing video, and we talk a little bit about pitches and what your book signing, how to present if you're worried, if you care about that. But book signings are a great place to actually meet your readers in person, so you can actually get more of an idea of them. And Mandy runs Orlando Reads Books, which has an awesome signing. I think she moved it to October of next year, so you might have a chance to get in there.
And we actually have a workshop on pitching too.
Oh, sweet. Oh, we do? Is that from Laura?
Yep.
Yes. Her pitch workshop is phenomenal. Okay, good. Sweet. Okay. Well, we've digressed enough, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us on our Monday marketing tips and tricks, and hit like and subscribe, hit the bell so you get notifications. And yes, we have a lot coming up. We are busy, 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 just as we know you are. And don't forget to check out Boss Mode. Again, links are in the description. And okay, Mandy, is that everything we've had for today?
Yep.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.